and welcome, my friends. This is Brian, the speaker for the dead, Life of Brian, coming to you with a new video today. Hopefully it won't be very long. I'll try and keep it brief.
And to make a long story short, too late!
About the Oscars. I'm seeing a lot of people making videos about the Oscars. Now, I want to start out with full disclosure on this. I didn't watch the Oscars. I haven't watched the Oscars since I was in high school. And that was a long time ago. If you can't tell by my face, I am not in high school anymore. And it's been more than a few years. Because I just feel like the Oscars don't really represent anything anymore other than a circle jerk. A bunch of people making bad stuff, all getting around to congratulate each other on how their farts just smell like potpourri.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
And it doesn't. I saw some clips, I watched some videos of other people's takes, and my take on the Oscars, even though you haven't seen them, just judging whatever everybody else has been saying about them, I'm confused. I'm confused as to other people's takes. Now, everybody's saying this was boring. Nothing happened. Where was Will Smith slapping somebody? There wasn't much political fireworks this year. Oh, and that's a good thing. And but at the same time, lamenting the fact that nobody said anything. I don't understand. I think sometimes the people on our side, the people who share much of the same views as I do, people like Nerdrotic, Drinker, Critical Drinker, and so many others. Those are the ones I've seen making big videos on this. I'm sure there's plenty of people who have talked about it. But they seem to lament the fact that it was boring, nothing happened, You guys were the same ones bitching about how you were so sick of politics and political speeches. And you applauded people like Ricky Gervais for getting up there and slapping actors in the face during the Golden Globes, telling them, shut the F up. You'd have no idea what's going on in the real world, accept your little award, thank your God and your agent, and F off. Some of the greatest words I think ever said in an award speech. But here you guys are whining that it was boring.
What was that?
Oh, it was nothing, sir!
Your behavior is most suspicious!
I'm okay with boring. Now, that doesn't make me a boring person. It just means we're winning. They shut up. They finally shut up. They finally stopped preaching at us. That's exactly what you guys wanted. That's what I wanted. And now that we get it, you guys aren't happy? I'm starting to feel like maybe some of those people that say you guys just want to be miserable all the time, they might not be wrong.
How can you be deaf with ears like that?
Or at least not as wrong as I thought they were. I think that's great. I still didn't watch just because, like I said, most of the actors that I care about or want to see win something, they're either retired, they're dead, or they've been put, like Gal Gadot and other people that I actually kind of think are okay. They're in crap movies. They're being made to act in films that are just garbage. So it's like, I don't want to see them win for that. And now everybody's really upset about this Aurora, whatever, this movie that was basically a soft porno sweeping the awards. Now, that one I agree. That one I think is good, because I am so tired of people screaming for more raunch in films.
I hate this place.
I'm tired of people who are screaming for more F words. R-rated Marvel films. We want R-rated, more debauchery. And yet in the same breath they talk about how bad all of this debauchery. I'm just like, I'm starting to think some of you guys are schizophrenic. We get what we want, and then you guys aren't happy about that. You want debauchery. You just want your brand of debauchery. Well, guess what? No.
I'll save you, Squidward!
How about no debauchery? How about no decadence and evil and wickedness and foulness being perpetrated as this is a good thing? I mean, not to go all religious on you here, but the Bible tells us about this, that someday in the worst and last days of our planet, if you believe in that, that we will have people say that evil is good and good is evil. They will try and flip those things on their head. And I'm seeing that in real time right now, in the government, in Hollywood, in culture, in music, that everything that is evil and wicked is being touted as liberating and freedom and, oh, it's so good. They're trying to destroy women. You can't, that most of these idiots, including Supreme Court justice nominees, can't tell you what a woman is.
Because of what?
That 30 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, that would have been like, yeah, it's a woman, it's a person who has boobs and a vagina, you know, I mean, and now we get answers like, well, I'm not a biologist. You have to be a biologist to know whether you're a woman or not? When did that, I missed a page. I missed something. Somebody tell me what I missed because something's happened. Now mothers are referred to as inseminated people, birthing people.
Here in Cloud Cuckoo Land, there are no rules. There's no government, no babysitters, no bedtimes, no frowny faces, no bushy mustaches, and no negativity of any kind.
You just said the word no like 1,000 times.
And there's also no consistency.
What? And see, that's the thing. Okay, I'm not saying that you can't have R-rated movies. I'm not saying that you can't show wicked things. I can't. I mean, some of the most interesting characters oftentimes end up being the bad guys. Not because they're good, but they're interesting. Because you get to see what turned them dark, or you get to see they were dark from the very beginning. These people were just born bad and got worse. But it's to see that journey sometimes that's what made Darth Vader so interesting. It was just this man in a dark suit who was doing these wicked, terrible things and had powers and just you had no idea why he was doing this and what led him to this. And actually once we found out what that story was, it kind of lessened Vader just a little bit in my book. But I mean, it was still interesting to see how he got there. I just think the movies that did it weren't particularly great films. But what I'm trying to say is you need to have good bad guys. You need to be able to, I mean, most films that are worth watching have that dynamic. Good versus evil, or a variation of those themes, or, you know, a dark hero, or a light villain, or, you know, a change in the story where the bad guy realizes what he's done is wrong and becomes the good guy. Right now I'm watching a series called The Blacklist, which is a very complex and nuanced show if you've ever watched it, because the bad guy is also something of an anti-hero. Which is an interesting dynamic, and it's played by one of my all-time favorite actors, James Spader. I love James Spader. Anything James Spader does, he brings 110,000% to everything he does. You believe him 100%, no matter what storyline he's in. He is fantastic, at least in my opinion. But see, that's the problem is that you guys want your feet in both worlds. And so you guys, you have one foot in the light, one foot in the dark, and those things get further and further apart. Pretty soon you guys are doing the splits to try and explain your what you want, you know? And I don't get it. I don't get it. We hoped for a boring Oscars. We hoped for just a regular, normal Oscars. We get it. And you guys are like, it was boring. Nobody slapped anybody. And yet the year Will Smith slapped somebody, you guys were all like, this is terrible. This is terrible. I can't believe he just walked up on stage and slapped somebody. It was funny. It was cool. But it was just terrible. Like I said, there's this weird duality in a lot of people that I'm seeing on our side that I'm just like, we get what we want and you guys are still not happy? Now, I think the Oscars need to be more entertaining. I think they need to do more type stuff. I mean, I want to see the monkeys dance. Go monkeys, go. But I don't want to hear them talk about Orange Man bad, or Biden is the best president ever, or whatever their political thing is, right or left. I don't care. I don't want to hear that, and apparently somebody is desperately trying to get a hold of me. So I am going to shut that off. Anyway, just guys, take the win. Take the win. Now, granted, the Oscars propped up a horrible, horrible film, and yes, why don't you can talk about that. You can talk about that. Yes, it was boring, but they propped up an absolutely egregious, horrific, foul film as the number one thing. I mean, talk about that more than it was boring. All I'm hearing though is boring. Boring, 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 boring. I mean, that's every video I've seen so far. Now, I'm not going to suggest that I'm the only one with this opinion. I am sure that there are videos out there that are saying the same thing I am. Guys, take the win and you know, and then criticize what you need to criticize about this Oscars, and then just let it go. Let it go. I want, we are winning. I mean, little by little, drips and drabs, we are winning. The United States elected a common sense guy into the presidency. Now, I don't agree with him on everything. I'm a little concerned about the tariff things he's doing, but he told us that's what he was going to do. He told us he was going to try and rebalance the scales, because the scales have been balanced against the U.S. for a very long time. And I don't mean to get political. I'm just saying there's light. Like, everything isn't dark. Maybe focus on that just a little bit more. We are winning. We are winning. We had a boring, uneventful Oscars. Should have been more entertaining. Should have maybe gone and like I've heard people say, they should have given Demi Moore her due for what she's done. I mean, yeah, it could have been better. But don't talk about how boring it was. That's what we wanted. We wanted boring. We wanted normal, sane, nobody talking about politics, nobody berating us, nobody telling us how we need to send more money to Ukraine. You know what? I'm tired of being told by a bunch of nincompoops in Hollywood who wouldn't know their ass from their elbow how to live my life. I don't need that. And you don't need that. And we didn't get it for once in, 10 years, 20 years? And everybody's just like, it's boring. I know I'm beating this horse to death, but I just don't get our side sometimes. That we don't take the win when we get it, and then talk about maybe the ways in which it could have been better. That, you know, that, I mean, and there's been a little bit of that, but the boring is the thing I'm hearing focused on more than anything else. And people actually saying, where's Will Smith to slap somebody? What an asinine, stupid comment. I'm sure Chris Rock would say, "No, we don't need him at the Oscars. We don't need a schmuck who walks up on stage and assaults somebody." I'm sure Chris Rock was really happy that he wasn't there, and that he's not part of the Academy anymore because he's a dipshit. Anyway, thanks for watching this. Let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like sometimes our side doesn't really know how to win? That sometimes we don't know how to win with grace, that sometimes maybe we just not happy no matter what happens, because that's the feeling I'm getting. I'm getting this weird vibe of, guys, take the win. Take the win, maybe say what could have been a little bit better, and I've heard some of that, but that's not the main focus I'm hearing. The main focus is on all the wrong stuff. It's like, let's be happy. Let's be happy. Let's try that. Let's try that for a minute. Some good things have happened. An election happened where things are getting changed. Things are getting shook up. I don't know if it's going to be a great thing or not a great thing, but I know that the status quo sure as hell wasn't. We needed some change in this world. We need to have things going in a different direction. We need to have somebody who's trying to create peace, not foment more war. We need to have entertainment that isn't preachy. We need to have, and it seems like we're starting maybe to move things back to the center. I don't want to see them go right wing, because I've seen right wing movies and they suck just as bad as the left ones do. I just want to see good movies. Good stories. I want to hear good, common sense politicians who aren't trying to take over and run my life. Let's take the win. Let's take the win. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye now.